Berlin, the capital of Germany and the country's most popular conference city, hosted the 5th annual European Data Protection Days. This growing conference allowed international chief privacy officers to get together for 2 days to discuss the latest developments in the field and meet new people.
This year we also had a great representation of privacy regulators, and to me it is absolutely necessary that we have and maintain this discussion and debate between industry and regulators as we look for new solutions, innovative ways to interpret privacy principles, to take regulation to the next level where the technology actually is.
The conference offered a large variety of presentations from a number of world-famous experts. One of the hottest topics was regulation and the upcoming possible changes to the legislative environment of data protection in Europe.
I think the main objective for us is to adopt the new EU regulation by the end of the year. I think it's a very important challenge because it will give the possibility for Europe to be really unified and to have a unified, I would say, data market. So a modernized approach, but also a trust to our principles.
Hungary was the first post-Soviet country which adopted data protection legislation. But the harmonization of the EU directive is not the same in all European countries. That's why we are looking for an obligatory regulation.
The Safe Harbor Agreement represents a crucial piece of legislation which was discussed in detail along with the rights of government organizations and secret services to access private data.
If the Safe Harbor has no chance, then probably also other tools we have at hand for the time being would fail exactly for the same reason. So we need stable ways to secure international data flows, and I think we need to answer this critical issue for balanced access rights for law enforcement and secret services and others.
Ben Weisner, legal advisor to Edward Snowden, came to the conference to also share his views of the current state of data protection from government agencies.
I think the problem now is that governments that have been so accustomed to getting what they want are now asking technology companies to re-engineer the world to ensure that no conversation can take place anywhere without the government being able to listen. I think we've learned that the mass surveillance regimes, the kind that the NSA and other agencies have deployed, violate privacy on a mass scale, but do almost nothing to make us safer.
When sharing with the audience, the speakers touched also on the biggest current threats to privacy and what measures to take to prevent data from being accessed by unwanted parties.
There are so many threats, but I think the most important threat to think about right now is information that is directly identifiable. So, for example, information that our name is directly attached to.
Two-factor authentication means you authenticate by at least 2 out of 3 types of things, either something you know, something you have, or something you are. Something that you know is generally a username and password. Something that you have is quite commonly your mobile phone. And something that you are would be biometrics, like a fingerprint or iris scan.
As EDPD does not focus only on local issues, it also hosted speakers from other continents in order to brief the attending privacy officers on the current situation worldwide.
I think the Chinese government has already done quite a lot in terms of putting out legislation or regulations to try to improve the situation. But I think it will be a long way to go before individuals realize that it's actually not correct to use personal data the way they are using. So I would say that education would be a key thing.
European Data Protection Days 2015 allowed everyone to meet other people with similar professional interests, learn about the current legislative and business environment of data protection, and apply this information back home in their work.
Well, first of all, I love Berlin, and second, it's a great opportunity to exchange views with a European focus.
I think I like the diversity, and so there were a lot of topics. So many things that make you think out of the box of your regular things that you regularly do.
I enjoyed the practical side when listening to the industry, how are they going to overcome the new regulations and how they're going to implement the new regulations.
I thought it was very informative. It was nice to get the regulators' input, and also I thought it was a good networking opportunity.
What better way to experience Berlin and end the conference than by a ride of historical trabis, culminating with a social evening full of networking over a local specialty, the currywurst.